In the modern landscape of human existence, we are inundated with a relentless cacophony of data, opinions, and societal expectations. From the moment we reach the threshold of adulthood, the world demands that we choose a path. Yet, in this pursuit of direction, we often overlook the most sophisticated guidance system ever evolved, the human gut instinct. We find ourselves caught in a perpetual internal struggle, weighing the emotional impact of our choices on others against the quiet, persistent truth of our own desires. Why is it that we are so quick to surrender our autonomy to the voices of the crowd? Why do we prioritize the comfort of our peers or the approval of our mentors over the visceral signals our own bodies send us? This documentary explores the historical, biological, and psychological dimensions of intuition. It is a journey through the why and how of the somatic compass, the physical manifestation of our inner truth, and an investigation into the profound courage required to follow it when the world suggests we do otherwise. The historical context, the biology of choice. To understand the gut instinct, we must first look past the metaphorical and into the biological. For centuries, Western thought favored the rational actor model, suggesting that humans make decisions through a cold, calculated analysis of pros and cons, a metaphorical spreadsheet of the mind. However, late 20th century neuroscience, led by pioneers like Antonio Damasio, revolutionized our understanding of human agency. Damasio's research revealed a startling truth. We don't make decisions with our brains alone, we make them with our bodies. His studies on somatic markers demonstrated that our physical states, increased heart rate, a tightening in the chest, or a sense of ease, are actually the primary drivers of choice. The brain acts as an interpreter, decoding the signals already sent by the nervous system. When we look at a menu or consider a career change, our subconscious drops from the head into the body, asking, "How do I feel about this?" Historically, this instinct was a survival mechanism. In the ancestral environment, a bad feeling was often the difference between life and death. In the modern era, however, this survival tool has been hijacked by social conditioning. We have been trained to ignore the no in our bellies to satisfy the yes expected by our communities. This dissonance creates a profound psychological toll, leading to what many experience as a revolt of the spirit, a state where the body refuses to continue down a path that the mind has falsely chosen. The primary obstacle to trusting one's intuition is the energy of the pack. This is perhaps most visible in the high-stakes environment of American education. When young adults tour potential universities, they are often shadowed by the expectations of their parents. Research into the dynamics of these tours suggests that the presence of an authority figure can fundamentally pollute a student's clarity. The phenomenon of the split tour, where students and parents are intentionally separated, serves as a powerful metaphor for the necessity of isolation in decision-making. When the external influencers are removed, the individual is forced to confront their own somatic response. Without a parent to turn to and ask, "What do you think?" the student must instead ask, "How do I feel here?" This internal shift is the first step towards reclaiming power. A no from the gut is rarely a quiet suggestion, it is a physical constriction. Those who have mastered the art of tuning into their bodies describe a no as a feeling of being closed off, unenthused, or profoundly out of place. It is an energy drain, a sense of shrinking. Consider the narrative of the reluctant professional. Many individuals find themselves in careers such as the law or corporate finance, not because they feel a calling, but because they're caught in a social current. The experience of Mel Robbins in the 1990s serves as a poignant case study. Despite a physical aversion to the legal profession, manifested as panic attacks and a feeling of being out of her body, she continued to follow the pack into law school. The cost of ignoring a hard no is often a prolonged period of reactive decision-making. When we ignore our gut, we move from one external milestone to the next, driven by the fear of being left behind. We may spend decades bait-stamping the metaphorical act of repetitive, soul-crushing labor simply because we lacked the courage to admit that the path we were on was a mismatch for our biology. Conversely, a yes is characterized by openness and possibility. It is an expansive feeling, a sense that one is leveling up or entering a jet stream of like-minded individuals. Take, for example, the story of a business owner, Amy, who challenged herself to achieve a year's worth of revenue in a single month. Despite the skepticism and silence of her peers, her gut signaled a quantum leap. This was not a logical conclusion, but a visceral pull toward a future self. When she finally committed to this path, the world seemed to align, presenting opportunities like a contract for 10 ebooks that mirrored her internal conviction. Similarly, the story of Jesse, a student who pivoted from a secure path in pharmacy to the uncertain world of broadcast journalism, illustrates the heart-centered nature of a true yes. Despite having no roadmap and facing an extra semester of school, the internal pull for journalism was so strong that it provided the necessary courage to leave the pack. While the ultimate decision must come from within, the documentary highlights the importance of the Richelli-Wright figure, an external voice that gives us permission to trust our own internal one. Often we are surrounded by voices that say, "That's too hard," or "Don't get your hopes up." A Richelli is someone who says, "If she wants to do it, why wouldn't you let her try?" These individuals do not make the decision for us. They simply quiet the noise long enough for us to hear our own yes. The lesson of the somatic compass is not that we should abandon logic, but that we should prioritize the wisdom of the body as the primary data point. Trusting your gut is not a passive act, it is a radical act of courage. It requires the willingness to disappoint others, to step away from the security of the group, and to embrace the "not this" before you even know what the "that" will be. As we conclude this exploration, the evidence is clear. Our instincts are rarely wrong, but our fear of following them is profound. To live a life that is truly yours, you must become your own tour guide. You must be willing to take your future self on a walk through the possibilities of your life and ask, "Do I see myself here a year from now?" If the answer is a contraction, a no, then the most courageous thing you can do is stop. If the answer is an expansion, a yes, then you must have the fortitude to push the fast forward button on your life. You may find yourself walking alone for a time, but eventually you will catch up to a new tour, a group of people who are on the same path, moving in the same direction, and driven by the same internal truth. In the end, there is a fundamental difference between a decision that is easy and a decision that is right. The courage to trust your gut is the courage to choose the latter. It is the courage to be the architect of your own destiny, guided by the silent, steady pulse of your own heart.